Institute of Economic Affairs, who's in our central London studio. Is there any excuse for a corporation of the size of Starbucks not paying corporation tax?
Well, there's every excuse. I mean, corporation tax is levied on your profits. If you are running a business, even one with a high revenue, but one that's not making a profit, then you wouldn't be eligible for corporation tax. Of course, it's worth pointing out, which I think is getting lost in what sometimes comes across as a bit of a political witch hunt here. It's well worth pointing out that these big companies make huge contributions to the economy. You know, they're employing people, they're paying employers NICs on that, they'll be paying a lot of value-added tax, they're generating jobs and the like. But if you're making a loss, then you are in a rather different position to if you are making a profit.
Slightly incredulous, some might say, that a company that's been operating for 15 years, in those 15 years, has only made a profit for 1 year of that time. Then why stay?
Well, I mean, I think this does go to, and this is the complex technical thing really at the heart of the issue. When you are a major company operating over jurisdictions, what do you charge to where? And my understanding with Starbucks, that clearly has a high brand value, Starbucks cafeterias will be performing more successfully in general because of the brand image and the advertising and even the architectural designs of the coffee shops that go with it. If that intellectual property is actually rightfully and legally owned elsewhere, then it's reasonable that a levy is charged on UK outlets. By way of example, if an American blockbuster movie is shown in British cinemas, you'd expect some proportion of the revenue from those cinema tickets to go back to the people who own that intellectual property in the United States. That doesn't seem to me to be unfair or unreasonable at all. And if it is sort of pulling the wool over the eyes of the tax authorities, if they are charging too much for those sort of things, if in reality Starbucks is making a profit here, then you're far, far better to have that investigated by the tax authorities than by a panel of politicians who are occasionally prone to media headline-grabbing grandstanding, frankly.
You're suggesting that possibly the wool could be pulled over the eyes of the tax authorities. Nobody's suggesting that Starbucks is breaking the law, in effect. But doesn't it go against the spirit of the tax law?
Well, I mean, I think that this is the problem that we've now got ourselves into. The tax code in the United Kingdom, if you read it from cover to cover, is something like 15,000 pages long. I think it's a word count several times that of War and Peace. It's pretty difficult to discern what spirit is included in those 15,000 incredibly complex pages. And I think that we can't rely on the spirit of the law. We've got to rely on the letter of the law. And a hugely simplified tax code, perhaps actually outlining some principles rather than endless, detailed, complex loopholes, would be a huge benefit for how we organise our tax affairs. So it's not obvious to me that Starbucks have broken either the spirit of the law or the letter of the law, certainly. And I think that we're in an unfortunate position now where we're seeing in this country that sort of any major companies that come over here, invest, employ people, sell us the sort of products that we want to buy on a day-to-day basis, are seen to really only have one purpose, and that's to act as a cash cow for the government to try and generate as much tax revenue as possible. And in fact, these companies do a great deal of good, irrespective of them paying no corporation tax whatsoever. The real challenge, of course, is we've got to actually get tax down and simplified across the board. We are presently spending nearly 50% of our GDP, of our national income, in the state sector, and that, I think, is inclining politicians to sort of go after anybody who they might get a few more pennies or pounds from. And I'm afraid that isn't a very successful route to economic recovery. OK, Mark
Littlewood from the Institute of Economic Affairs, thank you for your views. A change in the laws, perhaps your suggestion there. Thank you.